Long ago, in the heart of the lush, green valleys of Igbo, there was a prosperous village called Umuka. The land was blessed with fertile soil, and the rains always came in their season. Crops like yam, cassava, and cocoyam grew in abundance, and the villagers thrived. However, over time, prosperity gave way to pride. The people of Umuka began to believe they no longer needed the gods of their ancestors. At the center of the village stood a shrine dedicated to Amedioho, the god of thunder and rain. The shrine, once vibrant with offerings and songs of gratitude, was now neglected. The priestess, Neoma, an elderly woman with deep lines of wisdom etched into her face, tried to warn the villagers. "The gods are not to be forgotten," she said. "Rain is not a promise, it is a gift." But the villagers laughed at her. "Neoma, we have outgrown the gods," they said. "We are the masters of our land." They focused instead on festivals and feasts, dancing under the moonlight and boasting about their wealth. Then one year, the rains did not come. At first, the villagers were not worried. They had enough food stored from previous harvest. But as months turned into years, the land began to wither. The once bountiful streams dried up, and the crops shriveled under the scorching sun. The sky remained an unbroken expanse of blue, mocking their despair. The people grew desperate. They tried digging deeper wells and planting drought-resistant crops, but nothing worked. Their laughter turned to murmurs of fear, and their pride began to crack. Finally, they turned to Neoma. "Please, Neoma," they pleaded, "speak to the gods for us. Bring back the rain." Neoma's eyes were heavy with sadness as she addressed them. "The gods are not spiteful, but they demand respect. You must show them you are truly sorry." She instructed the villagers to cleanse themselves through a week of fasting and silence. No one was to speak, and no work was to be done. Instead, they were to meditate on their arrogance and neglect. At the end of the week, they were to bring their most precious possessions to the shrine as offerings. The villagers obeyed, though it was not easy. Children who were used to running and playing struggled to stay quiet, and adults who had little to spare debated what to offer. But desperation had humbled them, and on the seventh day, they gathered at the shrine. The air was thick with anticipation as Neoma began the ritual. She chanted in a language older than memory, her voice rising and falling like the wind through the trees. She poured libations of palm wine and crushed kola nuts onto the altar, calling upon Amedioha and the spirits of the ancestors. As the final words of her prayer echoed into the silence, a low rumble shook the earth. The villagers gasped and looked to the sky. Dark clouds began to gather, rolling in from the horizon like an army. Thunder cracked, and the first drops of rain fell. The villagers wept as the rain soaked their skin, the parched earth drinking deeply. Streams that had long been dry began to flow, and the scent of wet soil filled the air. The people of Umuka knelt before the shrine, thanking Amedioha and vowing never to forget the gods again. From that day on, the shrine was always adorned with fresh offerings, and the rains returned in their season. The people of Umuka learned a valuable lesson: prosperity is a blessing, but gratitude and humility are what sustain it. And so, the story of the village that forgot the rain